Michael and I just came home from the last session, finishing up Chasin Oscar. Tell us a little bit about what you think of the whole process.
Well, it was a long time in the making, and it was a lot of fun to do. It was a big step for me because it was the first time I did an entire album of, all of a tribute to one person, and one of my favorite of the greats, Oscar Peterson.
Yeah, no joke. You're going to love the stuff he plays. I'm pretty sure there's never been a guitarist who's taken on such a challenging project, a thing to do. He's playing the Oscar lines like crazy. Get specific about, you said, a long time project. Tell us specifically, what we did, what we didn't do, what we did, how it went.
Yeah. I think it probably all began when you assigned me listening of Oscar Peterson. First you gave me We Get Requests, and then you gave me an album called Tristeza on piano. And I came back to a lesson one day, about a month later, and I said, Jim, I want to learn to play guitar like Oscar Peterson. And he kind of grinned. And then a month later, he came up with the idea, or maybe just a week later, I'm not even sure, but soon after, he came up with the idea of doing an entire album tribute to Oscar Peterson. And that was about a year ago, maybe even more.
Yeah, you're right. Early last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Good. Then tell them some more about the process. What went on?
Well, the first step, of course, was to transcribe. To listen and then to transcribe, to learn the solos by ear, and to play them pretty much as verbatim as possible. Sometimes Oscar will go out of the range of the guitar, but you have to accommodate for that.
So tell them that specifically. You're talking about you're still playing the same pitches and rhythms, but you would just have to switch register.
Sure. Yeah. Sometimes you'll when you listen to the album, sometimes you'll hear me switch octaves where Oscar actually stays in the same octave, but it's just impossible to do on the guitar.
How much were you able to, or did you have to leave out multiple notes that he played?
That's a good question. Probably more often than I even notice.
Really?
Yeah.
That he's doing multiple notes and you're playing a single line?
Yeah.
I notice you do have a bunch of, 2 and 3 notes going on.
Yes. When it's doable. And then, of course, Oscar was famous for doing the two-handed. He had a very dexterous left hand. Yeah. So, unless I wanted to start tapping some of those lines, which might sound a little silly.
Let me tell them about what you did on one of them. On one of the songs, a ballad, I Loves You Porgy, he actually transcribed Oscar's left hand and right hand separately and has 2 different guitar parts, one for the right hand, one for the left hand. Now, interesting enough, on the CD, we chose to actually leave the left hand part out. Yeah. It sounded just a little, not at all cleaner, but just a little sort of clearer voiced without both of them going on.
Right.
Understand, Oscar can do this, and there's no way you can do that. You have to do this and this.
Right.
So he played the notes freaking perfect, but it just sounded a little more delicate and a little more intimate with just the one part.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, though. What about, did you do much of his little trilling and stuff?
Oh, yeah, that was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah,
a lot of it.
Sure. Yeah. Very cool, very cool. So again, now you transcribed them, you learned the lines. What happened next?
So I learned the lines, and just repetition, basically just repetition over and over again, to make it fluent and to make it clean, and basically just to make it as much like Oscar as possible.
Were there times early on where you thought, I'm not sure if I can do this good enough to do it?
Yeah, basically until we started recording. No joke.
We took time off because of the way we had to book the recording session and with the drummer Dom.
Right.
So you learned all the stuff. We worked on it, maybe 3 to 4 months, maybe?
Yeah, in the first stages, you mean?
Yeah, first stage. Yeah,
yeah, probably about 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And then took about how much time? 6 months off?
Maybe about 6 months, yeah.
Yeah, and did a bunch of other stuff, and then you started practicing it again, then we recorded it.
Yeah.
Cool. Pretty amazing that during the recording session, he was able to play the tracks one take and nail them. Now, we did go back and fix some things, and you may have even done, I'm not sure, one track totally over. That was really just because he felt like the fact that he had been practicing with Oscar so much in the record,
right.
And then the rhythm section of us, we're not Oscar's rhythm section, he wanted to fit with us more.
Right.
But you really did an amazing job in the recording session that you didn't have to go, I need to do that 8 times. No, you had your stuff now.
Oh, thank you.
That's the key to any good performance. Sometimes people say, Jim, I get so nervous. Well, that's called practice more.
Right.
That's called be prepared. And the degree to which Michael has prepared for this recording is just, it's monumental. It's a Herculean task. And you're going to hear that in recording.
Thanks.
So we recorded the stuff. We spent the last, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, actually about 5 weeks doing all the mixing and mastering. And it sounds perfect. It's incredible. You're going to dig it a lot. What else would you like maybe to say about it? Anything else?
Well, the process itself of recording was quite interesting. Something that we've never done.
Tell them if you want to.
Well, it was very interesting because some of the tracks are very, very hard, very difficult and arduous and fast. So in order to kind of tighten up the rhythm section while recording, what we did is we literally recorded along with Oscar. And then we took away his tracks and did our cleanup and fixes after that. But the first step was actually to record along with Oscar. So if it sounds like Oscar's tracks, if it sounds like his rhythm section, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, there's a feeling, an energy, and where it pushes and where it falls, and where it ebbs and flows, and mainly that energy that Oscar has with his group. So we wanted to imitate that. We didn't just want Oscar Peterson notes over a totally different feel and groove.
Right.
And I'm real happy with that. We have the energy, we have the spirit going right down the line, man.
Yeah.
It's kicking ass.
Yeah.
What else?
I think that's about it.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Now we're at the point of doing all the post-recording part, doing the getting
all the work.
artwork together. Yeah, all the work part,
Yeah.
the artwork together, and he's asked Nat Hintoff to do the liner notes, and then of course the putting it all together and promoting it and selling it and producing it and all that kind of stuff, which really is the work part. Right. As you do big projects like this, you'll find out the music's the easy part. It's tons of work, but it's like, that's the fun part.
Right.
And once you get that done, it's like, man, let's just play.
Right.
But no, there's a bunch of other stuff that goes along with it. Yeah. Let's play a tune.
Sure.
How about that blues in G?
Sure.
A 1, 2, 3, 4. All for Oscar Peterson.